Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. This is a reading for June. I'm doing like astrology. The spread that I'm doing is my yin-yang relationship check-in, and it's sort of geared more towards a romantic or love relationship, but it's not exclusive to that. But because they slant more towards that way, I'm not going to have a separate love reading this month. So I'm doing 6 of these, and I was originally going to pair a sign and its opposite, because this is a polarity duality situation. But when I was pulling my little tags, I just decided to dump them out and pick them up randomly. So we have Libra and Pisces for this reading. It's not necessarily this is Libra, this is Pisces. It's those two signs are hitting the same kind of energy. So with this reading, I have the Aquarian Tarot, and I have the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck. And I've got 3 spaces over here, and then across on the other grid area, I have 1 card that's going to be from the bottom of the deck. And because the deck is kind of thick, I'm just going to pull that right off the bottom. And the same with this one. Okay. So it could be masculine, feminine, it could be my dark side, my light side, my material self, my higher self, my ego, my inner child, my own masculine and feminine sides. It could be me and my parents, me and my child, me and my lover, me and my boss. It could even be me and my ancestors. My cat and me. My dog and my cat. So for whatever relationship you're looking at that are on the opposite ends of a seesaw, there's a crossover in the middle because it's a spectrum of the same thing. Alright, if you're looking at temperature, if you have if your faucet in your shower has a temperature wheel, it's all one wheel, but it goes from cold all the way to hot, but they cross in the middle, and that's what this is. I did get 2 cards here. Sometimes if I get a double, I'll take it. So you can see already in the middle that the crossover, the Aquarian Tarot, is the High Priestess inverted. And I forgot to see if that was properly focused. I think that's about as good as that's going to get. So the High Priestess inverted. This is probably, I can see already that this message feels similar to the Sagittarius Leo one. And on the other side here I have the horse with the wheat braid hair and the moon on his forehead. It's a very 5 of Pentacles type of energy, or it could be like the King of Pentacles. Alright, so let's get the rest of this side. 6 of Swords, which is air energy. Mercury in Aquarius. 5 of Rods, so 5 of Wands inverted. Traditionally Jupiter in Leo, but I have reassigned it Neptune. Page of Cups inverted. Could be a 1 or an 11. Oh, I guess I have to have it really close to focus it. I'll put it back here so I can... Is that better? think that's better. A 1 or an 11, and I've assigned it Neptune energy. So Piscean energy here. High Priestess is traditionally the moon, although I feel like she's usually Pisces, so that's the same coming from there. The Lamb, so we have more Earth energy. This Eye of God pattern back here. It's in focus. Kind of 4 of Pentacles. Or like the Queen of Pentacles. So this double space of Crocodile inverted and Hummingbird inverted. So I have a water inverted and I have air inverted. Which sometimes to me, Cups and Swords can be like opposites of each other. So there's even a duality going on here. 9. 11. So 911, an emergency. This makes me think of those butterflies that flap around on crocodiles. I think they're getting some kind of mites or something off of there. Oh, it's 911, I gotta have it going that way. Okay. Emergency. One of Raccoon, which I believe is coming through inverted. Also an earth sign. Yeah, 7. 7 of Pentacles inverted. That's giving me impatience. 7, 8, 9. That's really weird. So I did bring out the book for these animals because I felt like I wanted to today. And I just want to skim through them. So let me do the horse over here first. So we get a basis of what's going on with these animals. I'm just going to skim it. Okay, so we only have 3 upright cards in the whole spread. I'm going to sip on my ginger ale while I'm thinking here for a minute. So I am thirsty. I did one of the... I'm doing 6 of these. This is the second one. And I did one reading. And I was so exhausted I had to watch a movie and lie down for a few hours. Okay. That's not just from the tarot, though. I was already tired. Alright. So keywords: momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. So undefeated, physical stamina, and mental focus. Okay. So, like, you can do anything, don't give up. Notice that the horse has 4 feet, so it's very stable on the ground. Can hold strong and move quickly. Right? We see the horses pulling a chariot. We have horsepower. I'm going faster. For some reason, it just made me think of like going to hell in a fast car, but this would be sailing out of it. So we'll see where that takes us in a minute. So let's check out the lamb, since that's upright. So this one, it says peaceful, prophetic, and patient. Okay, so this is about truth and messages being learned or heard at the right time. something that you weren't quite expecting. You know, somebody says something and it triggers you, and you're like, and it doesn't mean it's a bad trigger, it just means it's like a light switch being snapped on. Right? Though the Lamb's message may channel through another person, the wisdom resonates with you. You know, you're just going about your business and you overhear part of a conversation walking through an aisle, like in a store or wherever, and it's like, ding, wait a minute. Dinner's ready. So, and it also has, like, there's an inner peace aspect here. Right? It's like you're more open to the messages when you've sort of quieted this inner screaming. Screaming, the lambs are screaming. This High Priestess inverted kind of comes into that. It's like, because the High Priestess is perceptive, sort of psychic, able to pick up on messages. This is like, my radio is all static. But someone is like, oh, I'm picking this up on my network. You're like, well, I'm not getting anything. What did you get? And they're like, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh my god. This is the answer to the riddle. All right, so let's look at the raccoon inverted. So the keywords for the raccoon are talented, shadowy, and in hiding, which makes sense because we're nocturnal. We've got a mask on. Little burglar outfit. Cat burglar. The forbidden cat. So it's talking about artistic creativity and talent. Shadow side, unresolved issue around self-image and success. Stage name, masks, which can be a boon or limit creativity. So it's sort of, who are you? Are you creating a limitation? Are you creating a persona that constricts you? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. So here it's competitive and starving artist energy. It's like a writer's block. And dealing with this, like, talent and creative wanting to do stuff, but then also feeling like you ain't shit. And I need some more ginger ale for this. So we're going to look at hummingbird and crocodile in a second after I get a sip. Trying not to audibly burp into the camera because of the fizzies. But I got the ginger ale to go with the cranberry juice, and then I haven't put any cranberry juice in it. And I was just thinking when I was sipping it, I wish I had some 7s and 7. Sure. That's weird. Oh, it is 91. Okay, my handwriting was weird on this. So crocodile. Crocodile energy has to do with resting, submerging, collecting energy, or cooling off. It's about stepping back from all the external stuff and going inwards. There's an aspect of waiting. And I said 7 of Pentacles was impatience. So there's an idea of intentional withdrawal, building up energy, charging your battery, but not just like, oh, you burnt me out, I'm tired. It's like I'm recoiling to start like setting out all these puzzle pieces that I've collected while I've been out here flapping around. So in inverted, this is sort of feeling stuck and lashing out. And whether there's, I mean, and it could even be lashing out at yourself, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I'm such a piece of shit. It's like, it's sort of like the ego screaming to get to the next space on the game board. Let's look at the hummingbird. I got a little bit of time. Okay. So the keywords for the hummingbird. Although I should point out, in the hummingbird for the Mystical Shaman Oracle, the hummingbird is about journeys. Journeying. Let's see if I can find it. I wonder if there's a table of contents. Probably not. Ooh, there is one. Ha 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 ha! That was easy. Instead of flipping through the whole book like an idiot. And this other deck that I was using, their hummingbird has to do with journey, preparing to say yes to a new adventure. No time to linger on what's gone wrong, but to trust in the rightness of the moment and take bold action. Embark on an epic quest, bypass the dung pile of old pain and hurts. So again, there's an aspect here about recoiling, not to, start making your hit list, but to start building this database of, which things are useful to where you want to be, not who you've been stuck being. Okay, but this hummingbird, the one that's actually on the card, says positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Resourceful. Energy and positivity. It has learned where to gather nectar. Exactly. It's like you're putting together the pieces of the map. Returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. It says the sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. This inversion, though, it indicates pushy, insistent, or sharp, instead of sort of taking the time to learn, to be sort of objective or discerning, discernment, and curious. This side is all about, it's basically all about managing self-destructive ego. Right? It's taking the time to recharge your batteries, but also like rewiring your system so that all the little voices aren't sucking up all the power. Or if there's the sort of different faces of the ego, whether it's, especially if it's a self-destructive ego, it's like having different inefficiencies at every point along the energy circuit. And this is about addressing that and allowing yourself to take in messages that are useful to propelling you forward. Okay, so let's see what this side is doing. This is ending a struggle, which could be internal, could be all the different aspects of the ego. It could be overturning the struggle, or it could be just plain old internal struggle. This sailing away when it's inverted, has to do with going deeper, but it's upright here. But if we're saying that this is internal and this is internal and this is internal, it sort of takes on that double meaning of I can go deeper, but I can also be moving away from it. And also, in a sense, if you take your boat and you're rowing away from the shore, and you're not just on a lake or a river, if you're going out into the ocean, the further you row away from shore, the deeper you'll actually be. And if you think of Pisces in general, Neptunian energy is like the body of the ocean, whereas Scorpionic energy would be the trench water and the underground water, and moon energy would be the surface. So this indicates a deeper dive. This indicates moving out into the deeper waters. And in some cases, it's like I'm moving to somewhere that's less shallow. I don't want to be where people are superficially attacking each other for no reason. This is like I'm standing on my own 2 feet and I'm like hauling ass. Like I'm going to get these pineapples to Hawaii. And the Page of Cups, it would be like an indication of like I'm not going to... Some of it's like I'm not going to learn how to swim. This particular page has a fish in their cup. And I think what this is more about than resistance, especially with this one, sort of kitty-cornered with this wet air card. It's like, ooh, it's like learning how to breathe underwater. But it's, what I was gonna say is, it's like someone who is opening up to their internal emotional state, or to their own, because it's not just emotions. Water can also be psychic stuff. Like the High Priestess is getting static, and this poor soul over here has to go down and is like a neophyte, like electrician that's just getting his first diving train to do underwater electrical stuff, to come and rewire for the High Priestess. But it's like, and then this is like, I got this boat full of 6 new radio tower antenna to hook up to this radio tower out in the middle of the water. And usually, I mean, it's usually more clear cut that one side is one thing and one side is the other, but these seem heavily intertwined. I mean, they're very mirrored. Like, this looks like the electrical grid. This looks like the tower. This is people fighting over and dismantling the energy from the other previous towers. It's like these brass things didn't work, so now we're going to the titanium ones. We can hear it like Morse code, like dee 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 dee, and that's very much the air energy. Like with the Libra is the message coming through in the air. I just heard it's coming through in waves. Is there fire? There's a little bit of fire here. I was thinking just like with, well, I mean, it seems like this is very similar to the Sagittarius Leo reading, because there's heavy earth and water energy, and here I'm seeing air also. because I've got the hummingbird and the swords. For me, High Priestess feels more like air, because she's sort of, for me, the High Priestess is like a higher vibration of the Queen of Swords. So even though she technically operates with water, for me she's more psychic water, which tends to be waveforms. But there's it's very much this balance trying to come through, and it's like it's not so much balance as like plugging it in. It's like this isn't the right voltage of fuse for this circuit. And it also makes me think of underwater currents, because that takes on an electric quality as well. Like the undercurrent here is impatience and frustration and self-deprecation that interrupts incoming messages. And it's like the darker side is trying to... It's like this side is like trying to be productive during the power outage, and this side is out running around trying to hook up the connection. And in that way, it does become sort of a polar opposite, where it's like I am the damsel in distress, and this is the knight in shining armor, or like I am the dude that got electrocuted, and this is the EMTs. You know, like, this is the tree that fell on my house. This is the electric company with the tree trucks. And it's like it's kind of like there would be no point to this if there wasn't this situation going on. Like, you wouldn't have to have a repair come in if there was no splitting open. But the whole point of it is to upgrade, right? Like I said, we're going from brass to like titanium, or whatever the hell it was that I said. There's a level up going, and especially because I said the High Priestess is like a higher vibration of the Queen of Swords. For me, there's actually levels. It's like Two of Swords, Queen of Swords, Justice, and then the High Priestess. And what's to see is the Page, right? The Page is a noob. They're like an intern. And then you get to a knight, and then, you know, the queen, and then the king, whatever, and then the ace. So, it's like it's like if your computer starts to get a virus, and so it doesn't suck up your whole computer, you like hard pull it out of the wall and wait a few seconds and then plug it in and do a complete reboot. You know, or if your computer falls asleep and it's not responding, then you hard reset. This is what it is. It's like no response to cosmic downloads. We're gonna hard reboot. We're going to check the electrical grid just to make sure that there's no bad hookups before we turn it back on. Like, hey, this power strip's half burnt out. Let's put another one in there before we hook it back up. This is what's going on here, metaphorically. So you can take that however you want for who this is looking at, whether it's two different sides of yourself or you and another person. So I'm going to leave that there and then move the camera. So if you want to get a personal reading, the list is going to be in the description box down below. You can see it on my WordPress, or you can download the PDF version there. I do have tarot sales running intermittently throughout June 2022. So you can check my social media, because the prices listed here and down below are going to be the regular prices. I have sales running throughout June on Etsy also, but generally if you get three or more items, you can use coupon code 3star17 to get 17% off your purchase of 3 or more items. I have coloring books, dark poetry, merch, and prints and actual art items here. I have, for prints and original pieces, character and celebrity works, I have slated it so that I have at least 10% of profits from those that I'm going to be donating to charity. So check that out too. I have card of the day picture versions on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, which is also where you'll see my sale postings. If you found this helpful or useful or interesting in some way, consider donating, energy exchange. Hit that tip jar. It's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Everything here, you can email me if you want a reading or anything. All that's through my link tree. It's linktr.ee/CATtheMinion. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out my playlists tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.